Think we're live. Hey, salutations, kindred spirits. Welcome to our weekly Wednesday magic lesson. Here we are today. What are we doing? Well, whatever you want. It's Ask Me Anything today. I do have a few loose topics I want to get started with, and the first one is, how's the stream? I've got some new settings. We're testing some new bit rates to make this experience a little smoother, trying to capture the sleight of hand at a higher resolution. And before continuing further with this stream, we will wait for the chat to acknowledge how things are. I will mention I've got some people asking if they can chat me up on the Discord. You can certainly do that. I would recommend an email is a great way to get in touch with me. I should have a little graphic there. Well, that's not the right size because we changed things. conjure@gmail.com. All right, I'm getting confirmation from the chat, and hey y'all, how you doing? It's nice to see some members in the stream. Francesco, Marty, and Ron. Greetings. I had someone ask at the beginning, how do we join the membership? Well, there should be a link in the description of this video, and if you check the chat, I posted a little link right at the top of that. So that's the scoop. Let me, well, I got a list. I have a list of things. It's like Newsday here. First of all, it is, what is it? It is National Magic Week. National Magic Week, if you haven't heard, now you're hearing it, where magic clubs around the country and maybe around the world celebrate this in spirit by mostly performing magic in general at charitable events. So this is something, and I wanted to highlight this group again. Society of American Magicians. This is a group that I talked about on Monday. I did a little short. We talked about them. I mentioned magicsam.org was their website. Well, that's not their website. It's magicsam.com. And as you can see on the graphics flipping by here, this is a great resource for magicians. They have learning resources. They have local clubs in major cities. There's a magazine that you get. It's digital now, so you get that. You got access to back issues. There's the magazine, Mom. Over 100 years of history available. And then if you're a professional, they also offer some insurance, and they have an endowment fund and support the youth. It's just a great organization, and I'm here to set the record straight. magicsam.com. Sure, we want to get that right as we celebrate National Magic. That's one thing. Hey, look at Jesse. How you doing? Nice to see you. Have you not been a member? If not, thanks for joining. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Guys, let me get through my little list of my checklist, checking things off. And then we're going to go to the Ask Me Anything, and you can. You know, let's keep it PG-13, okay? I'm willing to go in the weird zones, but if we could keep it family-friendly, I'd appreciate it. So I thought I'd tell you all what I was doing today because it's interesting and it might help some of you grow in your pursuits as a magician person. Let me check this camera. Do I have this set to share? Kind of, sort of. Let me just go back here. So here's what I was doing this morning. I was feeding this. This is a Grand Hotel. What is that, Mr. Conn? This is a PDF. Back in the day, it would have been an overpriced paper manuscript. This is authored by John Rockerbomber, who I had the pleasure of speaking with yesterday. John is a local magician from New Orleans, and he's a bit of a legend in the magic industry. He's authored over, well, I'll talk about library.com in a minute. Let's just say dozens of hardcover topics or books, dozens of hardcovers, and over 200 of these focused PDF. So I'm studying the hotel mystery, which is a card plot. It's a transposition of what is basically an uneven amount. So 2 cards change places with 4. Maybe you'll be seeing this on a short in the near future. It's a new decision for me to study this plot and put some attention to it. And when I do something like this, I like to study these things in depth. So if I put my attention to a plot, I'm going to study it as best I can. This is where a guy like John Rockerbomber comes in with great value. Now, I'm directing you here to library.com. Library.com is, what do they call themselves? Let me scroll down a little bit. The finest and exclusive books, ebooks for magicians, gamblers, and gamers. So I'm like in, I'm like a pig and shiz over in this site. Here, there's hundreds and hundreds of topics. Most kindred spirits are probably interested in the gaming, the gambling, but look at John Rockerbomber here. He has over 200 publications on this site. Many of them are the focused dissertations I'm talking about. Like there's one for Mexican Joe, Dr. Daly, Mira Skill, the wonderful Stuart James Plot, all that jazz. There's Jazz Aces. May the flop be with you. So look, what I'm saying here is, number one, I love me some John Rockerbomber, and I did talk to John yesterday, and hopefully I'll get him on a YouTube in the near future. You guys can learn more about the guy that I used to ask all the questions to. He's a little under the weather this week, but I'm hoping to get a camera on him maybe early November. I'll tell you a little bit about the guy who mentored me when life was weird in my early 20s. So I have one question that I'm going to kick off the Ask Me Anything section with. This was a question submitted, or a suggestion really, submitted before the before this event started. I thought it was an interesting suggestion and one that would maybe be inspirational. And the questions are coming in. Lee Sheesh, am I a gamer? I am a gamer. I play collectible card games mainly. I like strategy games. So I play Hearthstone, Clash Royale, and I also play poker, all its forms. Online poker is a big deal. All right, so now, let me mention this before going any further. Get a little blurb in for Friday's live. Hey, Friday, we're giving away one of these. This is the Grateful Dead deck. A close-up camera that might be able to... Last week's Friday, if you're not aware, I do live streams weekly, and I do magic tricks and reviews and giveaways. And this week, we're giving away the new Theory 11 Grateful Dead deck. If you haven't visited me on Instagram and dropped your screen name there, your YouTube screen name on Instagram, you might want to do that now and join us Friday at 4 p.m. We'll be giving this away. And also, I've got an order coming in with some new Tenyo props. If this thing is not a piece of junk, I'm going to give that away as too. It's a surprise. You'll have to wait and see. I won't know till tomorrow, till the thing gets here. So that's the name of that tune. That's my agenda with, oh, one last thing. Let me get this question in. All right, so where are the questions, Mr. Conn? So many links today. Go. Yeah, all right. Here's the first one right at the top, and we have a few guys. Maybe I'll get to some of these later on. Ron, nice to see you here. I'll demonstrate that cup move you asked about. Tutorials. Here's a question. Can you do tutorials for some of the magic tricks you do? If not, it's okay. I know a magician never tells their secrets, but, well, here's the skedoodle on that. I have over 44 tutorials on YouTube. A lot of my shorts viewers don't find my main channel where I publish these things. But if you go to just youtube.com/DougConn, that's my name, that's where all the long form is. I've done live videos where I teach things, and I offer advanced tutorials to my membership, and we talked about that at the beginning. So here's the thing I really wanted to answer. Could we talk a little bit about Matt? I don't know if I got the first name right or the last. Matthias Buchinger. A lot of people don't know who he was, yet he is someone I consider to be a fascinating historical figure in the subject of magic. Boy, you're right. He is a fascinating figure, and as you ask this question, I am aware of who this man is, and I haven't studied this man a lot. Well, I took the time to do that to open my brain up a little bit today. I'll tell you guys a little bit about him, and then we'll talk more about him. This man, Ricky Jay called him the greatest German. Now, that's a pretty good accomplishment. And hey, you know, if a guy like Ricky Jay is studying him, this guy has done some interesting things. Ricky Jay penned a book about this man, Matthew Buchinger. He was a magician, first and foremost, I think, in his life, known as a magician. He also was like a skilled marksman. He was a well-rounded man. He built ships and bottles. He was also renowned to have authored over 70 children with 70 different women. What? That's a big accomplishment for any human being. This all becomes even more impressive when we realize that this man stood at 29 inches high. He had no hands. He had no feet. These might be exaggerated rumors, but we can look at what he's working with in this image here. So, hey, when you guys want to complain to me about not having big hands or this move is too hard, let's all reflect on Matthias Buckinger, who accomplished amazing things with the most difficult of challenges. Like, there he is performing the cups and balls. Performing the cups and balls in any facet is challenging. Doing it without hands, wow. Hey, if you want a great living representation of this man, I would suggest that you look up Maudie Gilbert. I want to get Maudie's name right. Maudie is similarly challenged and does incredible sleight of hand with a deck of cards. He does things that I can't do, and Maudie Gilbert, check him out if you want to learn more about the possibilities of a challenged magi. All right, and with that, wow, 12 minutes in, I aim to do a loose 30. We'll go a little bit longer to get some of your questions in. That is our, I guess we got some history in. We've learned where to learn today. We've learned what I'm learning, and now we're learning what you want to learn. All right, so I turned my attention to the chat, y'all. How's it going? Don Cruz has 2 questions. Is one of them, how is my day going? My day's going fine. You know, I spent my day pursuing my art, studying card magic, preparing for a stream. Let me get, first, before the questions begin, the easy answers. Been doing magic for over 40 years. My childhood inspirations are Harry Anderson, Doug Henning, David Copperfield, Paul Harris. There's a lot of them. I live in New Orleans, where I work as a professional magician. I work as a street performer, and I do private gigs as well, corporate events, banquets, weddings, parties, stuff like that. So what made me interested in magic? That's another common one. As a young child, my grandfather did a trick, and it was a coin trick that inspired me. Then in 3rd grade, I learned some magic through a teacher, and that was the first time that I've performed a trick. So Don Cruz, question 2, what is your favorite card trick? My all-time favorite, like if I had to perform any single one, the invisible deck or the ultra mental deck. And I'm not just showing you this because I sell it at, wow, look at that big graphic. I changed some of my screen size graphics. I didn't adjust that one properly. But this produces any card named. Here, I'll do it. Someone in the chat, let me get the one that doesn't look like a trick deck. There. You introduce a deck like this. If someone could type the name of a card into the chat, I'll do this invisible deck. It works with any card, and what happens is any card named is upside down. That's the power of the ultra mental deck. Can I do the gun trick? Yeah, I'll do the gun trick, sure. You know, I have a tutorial on the gun trick, and hey, chat, this is your cue to type a card in. So there is a 5 of spades. Bro Stuff has the 5 of spades. If you're not typing the 5 of spades, you're typing the wrong card. And we'll talk about the gun trick in a minute. 5 of spades. So as I mentioned, what the ultra mental deck does is any card named will be the only card that's upside down in the pack every time. In this case, the 5 of spades. It could be any one. I'll take the last card that I read here. What's the King of Hearts. So now we have a new card, the King of Hearts. That's the next one I read. You go through the deck. So this is not only a good trick, and there's a good challenge effect you can do with this. I usually do it as the invisible deck presentation, which is how it was popularized by Eddie Fields. If you want to learn more about that, visit me at conjure.com. Let's get some juicy questions, folk. Oh, Goldbug's got the invisible deck going. Good to hear it. Congratulations. Worst I've ever messed up a trick. So probably the worst I ever messed up was last August when I'm in Colorado. We had to evacuate from the Hurricane Ida. My very first street show in Fort Collins, I managed to fall off a 3-foot fence thing and crack a rib, injured my hand. Prior to that, it was probably burning someone's personal goods. I used to do cigarette magic. I would do an effect where I vanished a lit cigarette in someone's hat, or in this case, I borrowed what appeared to be a very fancy scarf. As I'm putting the cigarette into the scarf, wind blows, knocks the cherry off the cigarette, burns a hole right through it. Well, I don't do real magic. Then there was that time I went to jail on Bourbon Street for performing after 8 p.m. Oh, there's Ron. Ron, I'm ready for you. Ron wants to know how to pass a cup through a cup. This is, Ron, you did get our, Ron got the Conjure kit. These are the cups I sell at Conjure.com. This is the heavy aluminum set. It's a Murphy's product. Good. It's a good quality cup for a value price, like 30 bucks. So the move in question, there. This angle going to put in screen. So you do this as you explain their trick cups with little trap doors in the bottom. So if you unscrew the bottom, that's how you can get but you got to unscrew the bottom. That's what allows the cup to go right through the cup. And if you keep the bottom loose, it also opens the trap door, which is also in the bottom. All right, so I guess we're going to learn cups and balls. I went to jail on Bourbon Street. We're going to learn a cups and balls technique. The cups are helpful. So this is one of the reasons that magicians use cups of this nature, because of these rims. These are not gimmick cups. They don't unscrew or anything like that. That's just a joke I do about it. Let me keep this in view as though it's almost an advertisement. So these rims are designed to do a couple things. Number one, if you have a ball sitting on top, the elevated rim keeps the cup stacked at the appropriate height. These should hold 3 balls and reveal them stacked on top of the cup. So the top and the tops are machined that way for a reason. These rims are the key to doing the penetration of a cup through the cup, which is just an optical illusion. So this cup is held very gently between the first finger and thumb, very gently, because it's about to be knocked out by that cup. That's exactly what happens with this rim, which hits the bigger rim at the top. Hits this rim in my left hand, knocking it down, and then my other hand catches the bigger rim. So, smaller rim knocks the bigger rim out, and then the fingers catch the bigger rim. With a little bit of practice, you'd be surprised at how easy it is to do the cups through the cup move. Oh, Nikawada challenges me. The revelation by Larry Jennings. Let me also mention, this is a fun bit too with the wand, tippy tap tap. Go behind it. If you do this quickly, these are the cups go through the cups. They do that because of the trap door in the bottom of the cup. And this looks really good in real life. It's not the best camera trick, but just going behind the cup, but my finger goes in for an extra seller. So, tappy tap through the cups, and Ron, you should have got some tutorial links with your cups and balls purchase. If you didn't get those, message me. I'll make sure you get the links. You get private tutorials, exclusives, when you buy our products at the overly advertised Conjure.com. And let me get set for this revelation. And I don't do the Jennings revelation. I do the Marlowe handling that basically Randy Wakeman taught, and I think the book was Special Effects. We had a little discussion about all of this on the Genie forum back in the day. Randy published it, credited it to Marlowe. I published a variant, and then Randy said it wasn't Marlowe's, it was his. I don't know. So Hungry, you just saw my favorite card trick, the invisible deck. My all-time favorite trick is the coin trick that I do all the time. And this is the Marlowe approach to the Jennings revelation. And I described this in a members tutorial, by the way. I use this effect to open the invisible palm presentation. So when I do the invisible palm, this is the trick that I use to introduce the effect. I feel it's a good introduction because you can talk about palming cards. I'll try to demonstrate that for you now live on the YouTube. And close-up camera range, probably not the best way to view this with zero misdirection. That is the revelation effect, the Larry Jennings effect. He had a different approach that didn't use palm-to-palm transfers. But that's what the effect looks like, and that's the way that I do it. All right, you guys making me work today. That's like, when people ask about the hard stuff, tabled palm, so I'm palming off the table and doing transfers of that card and then placing them other places. That's what's going on there. Again, you want the full scoop. I'm going to point you to our, Brandon, I'm going to point you to our our membership area. Again, there's a link in the description if you'd like to join the membership. So there we go. Conn, you're asking for a difficult trick. You got that. It's funny how often I get that question. Everyone always wants to know the hard stuff. Hard stuff. You know, the hardest thing, let me tell you the hardest thing to do. Here's the hardest thing. For a magician to set aside the effect, forget about the trick, forget about, not completely, focus on the presentation. Focus on giving your audience a reason to care about the trick. Care enough to script your beginning, middle, end, maybe with a humorous moment in it. These are the hard parts of magic. Figuring out the direction, which makes the misdirection work. Your stage movement. Are you going to use music, etc., etc.? Rarely is the trick the hard part. Getting off the preacher's box. Now you know something. Antonio, as I briefly answer other questions, I'll do my favorite trick, like the national anthem of my stream. I might as well just get used to doing it every time because I get the same question every time. But I'll answer some other, I'm going to ignore my advice here. We're going to have no presentation for the coin magic. Maybe while I answer some other questions as we do this. Ask me anything. We'll do it without the force field of mystery. Prince Shu asked, do I have any minimalism tricks? So, like, I consider the invisible deck to be a minimalism trick. But minimalism is not really how I portray myself. So basically, no. Loosely, maybe, yes. I tend to ask people to believe I'm a sleight of hand artist more than a mind reader or a magician. So this is the character that I portray, and it's not one that would read minds. I'll do phase 2. Let me see if I have a mind reading trick that I might do. Have one. Is it around here? Oh, here it is. Okay, you're going to be sorry you asked. Here's my minimalism. Minimalism, can you tell? Concentrate. See if I can transmit to you what is in the envelope. I'm 53, I think. Sometimes I forget how old I am. You ask how old I am. My go-to double lift is the Vernon double lift, the Vernon push-off. On a good day, I'll use the Stuart Gordon turnover. Concentrate and answer me honestly. Do you have any idea what's in the envelope? No? That's right. No. Minimalism. You didn't know. Did you know? It's not true. There is something in here. Not ready to go. Hold on. My minimalism is underprepared. All right, so you know it's a prediction. You know it's a word. I'll tell you this. Concentrate correctly. Concentrate. See if you get this correct. It's a 4-letter word. We're PG-13 today, folks. Concentrate. See if you can get the vibe. It's a 4-letter word. And if you still said no, oh, congratulations. Yeah, no. No is the answer. Some of you on the back of the card, some of you will think of the word love. So if you're thinking of love, congratulations, you got that right. And the rest of you need to get your mind out of the gutter because we're trying to keep it PG-13 today. Just so none of that. There's our minimalism mystery. Probably could have left that undone. Where were we here? I was going to integrate the, yeah, it's just 4 coins, 2 hands. I like to point that out. Nothing more, nothing less. This is all I use, what you see. What's the next question? How many hours a day do I practice? This really depends on the effect I'm working on these days. So, like, this trick needs no practice, right? But today I'm working on the hotel mystery, which is a plot I haven't done in ever. So I'll probably spend a good 8 hours today, both learning about this plot, trying different methods, deciding what's best for my venue, which in this case will be the short form video, And hopefully you'll see that in the near future. Maybe later. It kind of depends on how things go. Let's wrap this up. That's all 4 coins together. And people have a lot of theories about this. I'll tell you the truth. If you were here, you were in front of me, like you can see me doing this street performing. The way I start this trick is by giving people the coins. So I say, here, you take the coins. They handle the coins. Then the spectator places them on the table. Now I've made my adjustment. I've added the secret sauce. And now I'm ready to perform the coin assembly. So it's maybe not as honest as it could be, but when you look at this in real life, it does look pretty good. All right. Yeah, thank you, Marty. I added that wand to the routine. This is based on the feedback I got from my audience. People think I flick the coins when I do this trick. A common assumption is that I'm flicking them. So I put the wand there. I use it as a couple things too. I use it for act as a pull cue as I'm demonstrating call shot moment. Sankar wants to know how we can learn these tricks. This is another one that I teach in the membership section of YouTube Doug Conn. So it's $4.99 to access my advanced tutorials. There's a link in the description of this live, and I posted it right at the top of the chat. Someone asked about it right at the beginning. Yo, Mika, good to see you, bro. What's happening? Have I ever had to completely improvise a performance? Yeah, more than once. You know, having a good base and sleight of hand magic gives you a lot of leeway. You know, the ability to just say, I could do this coin trick with regular coins. So if I could just gather some coins from the audience, I'm prepared to do basically 10 minutes of magic. I could do a lot of coin stuff. So Marty wants to talk Erdinace. Well, there's an interesting topic. So well worth study. You know what I'm going to point you to? Here's a resource that I mentioned earlier. Do I still have this ready to go? At library.com, Chris, I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. It's Chris, whoops. She's breaking up, Captain. She's breaking up. If I got library.com working for me. Okay, so there we are. Chris is a historian, the guy who runs this site. Chris Washuber. I don't know if he has the Erdinace information here. Those of you that don't know Erdinace, he is a man. This book was penned over 100 years ago. Wrote The Expert at the Card Table. Oh, there's one of it right there. Expert at the Card Table. This is a notebook, I guess, on who Erdinace is. And that's the thing. No one knows. No one knows who Erdinace is for sure. He wrote this book. Here's what I use. The pocket version of the Erdinace book. I keep this at my desk. This is what they call the Bible. This is the Bible edition. The one that I study is the Darwin Ortiz annotated Erdinace. That's a great book. Has a lot of updated handlings of some of the techniques in here. And I recommend that. It's Darwin Ortiz annotated Erdinace. I think anyone who does card magic and maybe magic in general should study this text. Very hard read. It's often recommended to beginners. I don't think it's a beginner book. Oh, I just got reminded. I have a YouTube event today. Good thing we have alerts. YouTube Creator Shorts community. We're doing things there, trying to keep that thing interesting and active. So Jason says his name was Andrew, but we're not sure. There's about 4 or 5 different theories. There's been books that have written saying who he is. He was a murderer and a thief, and Chris has a good theory that he's someone completely different, and other people have other theories. So you go down the Erdinace wormhole, you're going to be studying it for quite a while. It's been rumored to be a movie in the works of this story, and yeah, too deep to continue talking about here. It's also very niche. So. Donnie Lloyd wants to know if I have a favorite set of cups and balls. I sure do. It's these. This is the Gary Animal cups, which I use for tennis ball productions. These have been in my collection for over 20 years. I use them all the time. They've stood the test of time on the streets and in daily shows. So these are my favorites. They're not easy to find, but he's rumored to be making some more. This is the set that I recommend as a value set for maybe a beginner who wants to get a set and not spend $500. This is the Legend set. It's $150 for these. These are leather balls that I prefer. Let's see if we can do a little bit. Oh, that was a flash. This camera's a little too tight. Let me do this. Let me get rid of some of these. I'm going through the quick routine that we describe on Conjure.com. This is taught with the Murphy's cups, and this is the value version of the Legends cups. These are like $30, and if you're a total beginner, great introduction. Hey, Doc, welcome to the membership. Nice to see you guys joining me on the stream here. I think it's this way. I did this wrong yesterday. I'll get rid of a couple of the balls. Yep, that's wrong. We'll just use the one ball with the 3 cups. Let's see if we can get through this Charlie Miller sequence, and then I'll wrap this up. So watch as the ball appears to go right through the top of the cup. It should appear to go here. We'll just use the extra ball. I'll use this extra ball, and I'll use this extra one. Yeah, it's the extra ball that makes the magic happen. It's the extra one there that I use to make it. I use this one to make it look like it. Here, let me get the wand. It makes it look like it disappears and appears somewhere else. That's what I use the extra ball for. Yeah, oh, it's the extra one that does that. And that's the mystery of the cups and balls. That's the extra one. And that is a bastardized version of what we teach you when you buy the cups and balls at Conjure.com. I have links to these. I have a Vanishing Ink Pro Shop where you can find these things. And also I have my regular shop. I run out of the closet over yonder. So when you buy something from my regular store, you get my DNA with every purchase. Someone asked if I could juggle. I used to. Not anymore. I could probably still juggle if I put my mind to it. Yes, Tartarus Rising. I do my own magic. I do, yes. I have a book of tricks. I have a DVD, a bunch of stuff. This thing has a couple dozen routines. Most of these things are finding their way to the membership area of my YouTube channel. Updated handlings, different video shots, things like that. Oh, the gun trick. I forgot to do the gun trick. Yeah. The gun trick. Is there a place or country I want to go in the future? So the end game, my story here, I always like the Ace of Spades. We need the Ace of Spades to do the gun trick. I'm going to find that just by using the upside down all around poker shuffle. So my goal here in the next year is to buy a recreational vehicle. My wife and I will climb in that thing and tour the country. I'll be doing street performing around the United States and visiting magic conventions and magic shows and all kinds of things magic. And I'll share that with you guys on the YouTube. So that's my plan. Did you guys see the Ace of Spades? I think it's a face down card. So if it's one of the face down cards, this will narrow it down considerably. Oh, look, only one card face down. So that'll be our bullet for the gun trick. This is the Grateful Dead. Where's my camera here? This is the Grateful Dead Theory 11 deck. We're giving one of these away Friday live on stream. Put it in action. Here, we'll do the bullet introduction. I really like to do this intro. When I use the gun trick, we need a bullet. Let me just get a bullet out of the deck. Bang! And we'll use that bullet, spades, to find a target card. So we'll just pick a target at random. If you were here, I'd ask you to say stop, but I'm just going to stop in the middle. What is that? A 3 of clubs. This is a unique deck. So I'll find that card, which in real life, I wouldn't know what it is. I find it with the bullet. Yeah, the bullet, which I load into the weapon. Yeah, it looks like a gun now. There's the bullet. We have the weapon. Here is, oh, ow. One shot. Try to keep it in frame. One shot out of the deck. There it is, live and in color. 3 of clubs. That was a weak shot, but it was the gun trick. This is, as I mentioned, is one of the tutorials I have. There's a whole playlist of these things. I have a card magic tutorial if you want to find this easily. Yeah, go look at my playlists. So, biggest theater, not a relevance for me. As a close-up sleight of hand guy, you know, my biggest room would probably be a hotel banquet room. It would probably be a magician's convention, maybe at the Fairmont in New Orleans conference room. You know, not a big stage guy. So Donnie Lloyd asked about petroleum. This is an interesting question. It's a wonderful effect. It does the effect that I just did, but maybe a little more. You can scrutinize petroleum, and you can do a couple of other things with it. But in general, I do not perform gimmick tricks that I can duplicate with sleight of hand. So, like, I could do a pretty good. Getting a little lag according to my dealio. Lag City. Sorry about that, folks. I'm going to not talk much as we get this thing buffered back in our right direction. So yeah, gimmick card tricks. Yeah. If you can do it with sleight of hand, I wouldn't suggest buying it. Unless, like, maybe I wanted to make a video of some of the same effect that would fool maybe Fast Company. You know, I would lend more towards, like, the rising cards for a gimmick deck. The invisible deck, that's a gimmick deck I use. Hungry asked and answered. No, I think we just had a hiccup, which I don't know. I'm on AT&T fiber optics. Should be working fine, but it's not. Well, guys, this might be a good time to wrap up. It's 12:38. I'm going to hang around for 2 more minutes. I wanted this to be about a half hour, and we're over that and starting to get choppy. So before this gets too bad, hey, Rohit, you got it there. You got your shout out. Hey, Snoop, good to see you, my friend. It was nice chatting with you yesterday. Always a pleasure to spend time. The kid wants to know how you can be a great magician. Here's how. Practice a lot, study the art, perform every chance you get. Perform every chance you get. You're performing material that you've studied, that you've practiced, that you've rehearsed, and then you've dress rehearsed it. So we've practiced our tricks. We've given them rehearsals. We dress rehearse it. And ideally, to be great, we find our own point of view. So that's the big mystery. How can you express your art to an audience in a unique way? You know, maybe you're Piff the Dragon and you wear a dragon suit. Maybe you're David Copperfield and you're GQ or trying to be sexier than you are. You know, and Penn and Teller is a good example, the bad boys of magic. Jason Y, thank you, brother. What is that? What is that emoji? A laughing fox? I have to address my super chat emojis. You, sir, are greatly appreciated. Yeah, the real, I don't know if I have control over the stickers or not. The real key to being great is having your own point of view, being able to express an art form in a unique way, and ideally one that you've studied and practiced and rehearsed, dress rehearsed. That's my advice. This is a good place to wrap up, guys. Look, I'm always here for you in the comments. If you want to ask me more, drop a line in the comments. Friday, I'm making the announcement that our Discord will be open to the general public. My members are getting a private area there, and that will be announced on Friday's stream, where once again, we're giving away a deck of the Grateful Dead cards. If you haven't gone to my Instagram, you might want to do that. You can find me at Conjure. I have a graphic. I don't know. You can do the homework. Watch last week's stream. All the news is there. And if you have another question, Drop a line in the comments. I'll be checking it all day and I'll give you an answer of some sort. All right, guys. We're going on too long. It's been a wrap. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your attention. And hey, I'll see you guys hopefully Friday. That'll be the next one. That's right. Tell them, Jason, find your voice.